This presentation is for an interface innovation between a fire detection and occupant warning system in public areas and smoke alarms within apartments. Consider a typical Class 2 apartment situation. Assume an apartment has two interconnected AS3786 smoke alarms, as required by the BCA. There could be more, but for this example, we will assume two. The smoke alarms are mains powered with battery backup. There is also an AS1670.1 smoke detection and occupant warning system in the public areas, such as common areas and corridors. AS1670.1 occupant warning is provided by sounders, with the detectors and sounders all connected to an FIP. To comply with the BCA, 100 dBA is required at the doorway at each apartment. But this often fails to provide 75 dBA, the sound power level at bedheads that is necessary to wake sleeping occupants. One way of ensuring 75 dBA at all apartment bedheads is to provide one or more sounders within an apartment. There is a correlation between maintenance and reliability, and there is a difficulty associated with gaining access into apartments, so those apartment sounders can be tested. It is costly and difficult to access apartments to ensure regular testing of sounders within them. This adversely affects the maintainability and reliability of the occupant warning system, which is a major issue. Our interface innovation solves this problem by ensuring that occupant warning devices within apartments are easily tested and maintained in a cost-effective way. Our interface innovation, shown here, includes internal and external interface units for interfacing an AS1670.1 system in the common areas and corridors with the AS3786 smoke alarms within the apartments. Either of the interface units can activate the sounders of interconnected smoke alarms within an apartment. In this demonstration, we have two dual supply smoke alarms within an apartment. There are also two AS1670.1 to AS3786 interface units. On the bottom left-hand side, there is an internal interface unit, which is operated via a push-to-test button, whilst on the bottom right-hand side, there is a key-operated external interface unit. The innovative systems interface can take several forms. In an alternative version, discrete sounders can be used within apartments instead of smoke alarm sounders. With this option, apartments would still also require AS3786 smoke alarms, but they would be totally separate. The internal interface unit has a manual test button that can be pressed by an apartment occupant. The right green LED indicates that 12-volt smoke alarm primary power derived from the mains is available. The central red LED, not on here as yet, would indicate that there has been a signal received from the external AS1670.1 system, which could be a smoke detector and an alarm, or an FIP test, or finally an interface test simulating an external alarm from either the internal or external interface units. Finally, the left-hand side green LED, which is not on here as yet, would indicate that following one of the aforementioned signals, that all of the interconnected smoke alarm sounders had activated and were sounding. The external interface unit would be key operated by a maintenance service provider undertaking AS1851 maintenance. The right-hand side red LED is the same as the previous red LED. It would indicate there was an external signal from either the AS1670.1 system or one of the interface units. The left-hand side green LED is the same as the previous green LED. When illuminated, it would indicate that following one of the aforementioned signals, that all of the interconnected smoke alarm sounders had activated and were sounding. I will now operate the external interfacing unit by turning a key. Both external alarm interface test red LEDs come on because turning the key has transmitted a signal. Both interconnected smoke alarm sounders operate once they have received this signal. The two all smoke alarm sounders activated, green LEDs, previously both off, will come on when the two smoke alarm sounders have activated. An external signal has been received at both smoke alarms, and both smoke alarm sounders have operated. Note that with the alternative version, where discrete sounders could be used within apartments, Instead of utilising smoke alarm sounders, when all of the discrete sounders operated, then both green LEDs would come on. An AS 1851 maintenance service provider, outside of an apartment, key testing an external interfacing unit, only needs to see the external green LED operate. There is no need to observe the internal unit. Therefore, access to the apartment for the purpose of testing the interface is not required. Finally, I will operate the internal interface unit by pushing its test button. This unit operates the same as before, with the red LED indicating a signal and the green LED indicating all of the smoke alarm sounders had operated. These innovations could be applied in Class 2 and Class 3 buildings. Thank you for watching.